Hello and welcome everyone to today's LinkedIn and YouTube Live. I am Damodar Sahu, Chief Growth Officer at Data Safeguard. Our theme today is trust-driven marketing, turning privacy into customer loyalty. In a world where data is everywhere and customer expectations are higher than ever, trust has become the foundation of business growth. Today, we will explore how respecting privacy doesn't just keep us compliant, it actually builds deeper, more lasting customer loyalty. I am honored to join by my friend Dr. Steven Silverman, a respected voice helping CEOs turn brand into growth, valuation, and competitive advantage and business transformation. Steven, thank you for being here.
Damo, thanks. It's a pleasure to join you today. Trust and privacy, as you've mentioned, are such timely and important topics. I'm looking forward to our conversation. Let me take a quick minute to introduce myself. I'm Steven Silverman. I'm the principal consultant at Brand Constellations, which is a brand and marketing consultancy in the Chicago area. I work with marketing and branding leaders, CEOs, and founders from startups to multi-billion-dollar companies to build brands that stand out, mean more in the market's mind, and sell more year after year. I work with a range of organizations in my past. I've delivered measurable results for people in all levels of organizations, at companies from Microsoft, Amazon, Mars, Bose, DuPont, and others, as well as startups. I bring a strong academic background, including a PhD and MBA in marketing, to my consulting approach. And I currently teach courses in marketing and branding at Washington State University and DePaul University. So that's what I'm bringing here today. And I'm looking forward to talking about what's happening in trust and privacy.
That's great, Dr. Silverman. So, yeah, thank you for joining once again. So, let's talk about why trust matters more than ever. Stephen, let's start from the top. In your view, why is trust the new currency in business today? And how does privacy connect to that?
Yeah, that's a great question. Over the last decade, we've seen privacy breaches and scandals that have eroded public confidence in some of the biggest companies. And customers are asking some serious questions. Do you respect me? Do you protect me? And at the same time, we've seen regulations come into practice like GDPR, CCPA, CPRA, and India's new DPA are all raising the bar. But what's really powerful here is that when companies go beyond compliance, they actually demonstrate respect for customer data, and customers will reward them with loyalty. Trust is no longer a soft value, it's measurable in retention and growth.
Exactly. At Data Safeguard, we have seen how brands that lead with trust reduce churn, grow faster, and build advocacy. Compliance alone doesn't make customers love you, right? Trust
Yeah.
does. So let's get into privacy as the pathway to loyalty, Stephen. So now, Stephen, many executives still think of privacy as a burden, something they have to do, but you argue it is actually a competitive advantage. Can you expand on that, Stephen?
Yeah, sure. When we start thinking about competitive advantage, we're looking at where taking privacy seriously and building trust really means putting the customer first. When you clearly explain why you're collecting data and you give people control, they feel respected. And that creates brand affinity. So take consent management. Too many companies hide consent in legalese and the fine print. But when you make consent transparent and easy, you show customers that you value their choice. That's the foundation of loyalty. And we've all seen the opposite, Donald. Companies that misused or sold data without consent, and the fallout was catastrophic. So it really is amazing, but trust takes years to build and only seconds to lose.
Absolutely, I completely agree with that. That's why we built ID privacy, powered by our patented CCE, Cognoscible Computing Engine, and it's built on responsible and ethical AI. It automates critical privacy workflow like universal consent management, confidential data discovery, privacy impact assessment, that too data privacy, process privacy, and even third-party privacy impact assessment, data subject access request, confidential data redaction, compliance audit, and all put together it's a data privacy management. For organizations, that means privacy is seamless. For customers, it means their choices are honored, their data is safe, and their trust is in the brand grows stronger. In the end, privacy is not a cost, it's an investment in loyalty.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about little bit on the practical playbook for chief marketing officer and the GTM leaders, Stephen, you work with. So let's get into practical. Stephen, if you are a CMO or a GTM leader today, how do you actually embed trust into your marketing playbook?
Yeah, first, the first thing you want to do is apply privacy by design in marketing. And that means you build transparency and respect into every interaction. So that's to start with. Second, you use plain language in your consent and policies. You don't hide behind the legal jargon. And thirdly, you redefine your KPIs. So instead of just counting the number of leads that are captured, track how many gave you informed consent and then stayed engaged. That kind of shift from volume to value is how you measure true loyalty.
I love that. I love that. In fact, one of the shifts we are seeing in from how many clicks to how many customers trust us enough to opt in and stay, right? And even when you look at ROI, the trust driven strategies actually lower acquisition cost and improve lifetime value. It is sustainable growth, not short term numbers. Let's get into a little bit futuristic, the future of trust driven marketing. Stephen, let's look ahead. What do you see as the biggest shift shaping the future of trust driven marketing?
Well, for trust driven marketing, as we've been talking about, I see three big forces. First is global convergence of privacy laws, as we mentioned a little bit earlier. So businesses will need to meet those standards, but they really need to meet the highest standards, not the lowest common denominator. And secondly is AI ethics. AI touches almost everything already, and as it touches even more things, customers are going to demand not just accuracy, but fairness and transparency. And thirdly, consumer activism. People are far more aware today, and they will call out brands that don't respect their rights.
Well said, well said. And this is where automation plays a critical role. With our flagship product called ID Privacy, organizations can deploy within 2 weeks and can see return on investment in 4 to 6 weeks. That is how you make trust
Mhm.
scalable. Operationalize it so every customer feels respected, no matter how big you grow. Thank you very much for your time, Dr. Silverman. So, if anybody watching now, if you have any question, how privacy matters, of course privacy matters, and how the trust driven marketing actually create a growth strategy, please reach out to us, reach out to Stephen. He is actually advising the C-suite level people, how the GTM strategy, the marketing strategy actually can create growth to your entire story. And the key message is clear: privacy done right builds trust, and trust builds loyalty. It is not just about avoiding fines, it is about fueling growth and creating advocates for your brand. To our audience, thank you for joining us. And let's continue this conversation. Connect with us on LinkedIn and share your thoughts and comments. Most importantly, Let's keep building a future where trust is the real driver of marketing and business success. Until next time, stay safe, stay inspired, and stay privacy first. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you, Damo. It's been an honor.
Thank you.